Welcome to Holston Valley Unitarian Universalist Virtual Church. My name is Tom Burns, and I'm glad to get together with you even though we cannot be together. Today, our minister, the Reverend Jeff Briere, has the 7 last words about evolution and the Bible. To accompany the lighting of the chalice, I have a short reading from Pat Kane. We join with the earth and with each other to bring new life to the land, to create the human community, to provide justice and peace, to remember our children, to remember who we are. We join together as many and diverse expressions of one loving mystery for the healing of the earth and the renewal of all life. We have different reasons for gathering here each week, but we have this much in common. We work together as a church to transform ourselves, our community, and our world by sharing love, pursuing justice, and seeking wonder. Today's special guest musician joins us from New York. She's a singer-songwriter eager to be part of the communities which are seeking truth. You can find more information on her website, brookecampbellmusic.com. For a prelude, she brings us an original Lucky Day. Old couples touch hands and remember how it feels to be in a lucky way on a lucky, lucky day.
You walked in the room and I was a feather on my feet. What a lucky day, what a lucky, your heart blew right through me and mine beat and beat. What a lucky day, what a lucky day. I waited so long, I shivered alone in dark and icy places. I hope you never know. Waiting to come home just to be known, and now you're here and there's nothing left to know. Now you are beside me almost every single day, and each one is a lucky day. It's a lucky, lucky day. Old couples touch hands and remember how it feels to be in a lucky way on a lucky, lucky day. I waited so long, I shivered alone in dark and icy places. I hope you never know. Waiting to come home just to be known, and now you're here and there's nothing left lucky day. Oh, future's ours and it's open as the sea. I feel you all around me. Oh, nothing is too much when love is true, and it can be. I feel you all around me. Everywhere I look, it's colors are building and free. I feel you all around me. I remember when I learned how sweet life can be. The day we met, such a lucky day.
We will sing Loving Kindness next. Please light a candle to dispel the darkness, to honor someone or some event, or to bring light to a memory.
My name is Jeff Briere, and I am the minister of this virtual church. I hope you are safe and well. Please wear a mask in public, avoid large crowds indoors, keep your distance from other people, and when it's available to you, get vaccinated. Okay? Now, Charles Darwin, had he lived, would be about 212 years old today, and I think he would not be surprised to learn that people are still arguing over his theories and their implications. My sermon this morning reflects my opinion that we should accept the findings of Darwin and other scientists and still understand that the Bible is not a book of lies. I'll begin and end my sermon with a story, and the first one is about how the war between science and religion began. It was at a debate at Oxford University in 1860, 1 year after Charles Darwin published On Origin of the Species. Samuel Wilberforce, the Bishop of Oxford, was to argue the religious viewpoint. Thomas Huxley was the spokesman for the Darwinian side. Wilberforce was a renowned speaker, and the room was packed. Wilberforce began with a savage invective against Darwin and Huxley. He asked Huxley, if anyone were willing to trace his descent through an ape as his grandfather, would he be willing to trace his descent likewise on the side of his grandmother? The audience greeted this with rapturous applause. A man has no reason to be ashamed of having an ape for his grandfather, Huxley retorted. If there were an ancestor of whom I should feel shame, it would be a man who, not content with success in his own sphere of activity, plunges into scientific questions with which he has no real acquaintance. At this slur on the clergy, bedlam broke out, and several ladies fainted from shock. And from that beginning, today there are people who object to anything Darwin wrote and consider him to be an agent of Satan. On the other hand, many devout people have no problem with the implication of Darwin's theories. And on the third hand, there are some who would like to have it both ways and only object when Darwin's theories are applied to human beings. Animals and plants, they can evolve, but not human beings. No, God forbid. In this discussion, evolution, one thing that gets in the way are words. Have you ever seen that bumper sticker that reads, "It's only a theory"? Yes, it is a theory of evolution, but it's not theoretical. Some scientific explanations are so well established that no new evidence is likely to alter them. Over time, the explanation becomes a scientific theory. Now, in everyday language, theory means a hunch or a speculation. In science, the word theory means a well-substantiated explanation of some aspect of the natural world based on a body of facts that have been repeatedly confirmed through observation and experiment. The theory of biological evolution is more than just a theory. It is as factual an explanation of the universe as the atomic theory of matter or the germ theory of disease. Another term that rubs people the wrong way is survival of the fittest. Critics of evolution have argued that survival of the fittest provides justification for behavior that undermines moral standards because it implies that the strong naturally set standards to the detriment of the weak. It offends our sense of decency that people with power or resources run roughshod over the rest of us. Of course they do. I mean, you just have to look at Ted Cruz. It offends our sense of decency because survival of the fittest seems to justify their actions. But it is too simplistic to suggest that evolution demands competition. In fact, we have a large body of evidence that indicates those who cooperate are more likely to survive. The fittest just might be the friendliest. A third term that gets in the way of civil discourse is Darwinism. In this country, Darwinism is used by creationists to describe evolution. In this usage, the term has connotations of atheism. Creationists use the term Darwinism, often pejoratively, to imply that the theory of evolution is believed only by Darwin and a core group of his followers whom they cast as dogmatic and inflexible in their belief. Casting evolution as a doctrine or a belief bolsters the acceptance of religiously inspired stories of creation by putting them both on the same level of belief. If you support a doctrine, then simply refer to your opponent as supporting another doctrine, and your argument magically assumes some legitimacy. Something else that gets in people's way in discussing evolution and religion, and that is Lombardyism. Lombardyism is a religion started by the disciples of Vince Lombardi, the coach of the Green Bay Packers from 1959 until 1967. He is often quoted as saying, "Winning isn't everything, it's the only thing." Lombardians grabbed that quote and ran away with it. And it's not only sportsmen and sportswomen, but ayatollahs and ministers, politicians, car dealers, soccer moms, and governors. They're all now card-carrying members of the "I've got to win and you've got to lose" religion. Lombardians frame the debate as a win-lose game. Either this one or that one. One wins and the other loses. And that's really sad because, according to the Buddha, there is a middle way. You can accept the science of Darwin and still know that the Bible is not a book of fairy tales. It's not one or the other. It's not winner take all. You can have your cake and eat it too. The title of my sermon is "The 7 Last Words About Evolution and the Bible." And here they are. Hey y'all, stop fighting. You're both right. Now, grammarians and English professors will argue with me about the contraction y'all, condemning it as a non-word or at least a regionalism, and others will point out that contractions represent 2 words, so I really have 9, but those 7 pretty well sum up my thoughts about the matter. Now, when I was a young Catholic boy, I thought that maybe evolution was God's method of creating. God's way of making things happen, or the way they do. God's way of getting to where we are today. God's ways are strange, so couldn't evolution fit right in? Why couldn't that be accepted by everyone? Sadly, there are too many Lombardians. To compromise, to admit that the other side might be right in some way, to realize the truth was bigger than what you had conceived in your little human brain, well, that would be losing. And you can't lose if you're a Lombardian, God forbid. So, how could it be that the book of Genesis and the book of Darwin are both right? The answer to that question is the same answer to this question. How is it that Grimm's fairy tales and the phone book are both right? One book tells you about human nature, tells you stories, and implies that you might find stories like your own in it, teaches you how to be fully human, inspires you, and uplifts you. And it does this because it points to something bigger than you, something beyond this life. The other book tells you bald-faced facts about people, their numbers, and their whereabouts. It shows you how to move about in the world with no rigmarole, no funny business. It points out everything in this life, and it does so with amazing precision. One is bricks, the other is mortar, and if the building is to stand, both are critical. As human beings with hearts, we have emotions. We need inspiration. We want a story. And as human beings with brains, we need to use them. We are driven to discover the how and the where and the when of our life here on earth. We need to understand our existence. We need the facts. We need a story, and we need the facts. Together, they bring us to the truth. From the perspective of 2021, Darwin's ideas are substantially correct. He did not get everything right. Because he didn't know about plate tectonics, his comments on the distribution of species are not very useful. His theory of inheritance, conceived before genes or DNA were discovered, is irrelevant. But his central concepts of natural selection is correct. I said that I would end with a story, and so I will. One day, the zookeeper noticed that the orangutan was reading 2 books at one time. He had the Bible in one hand and Darwin's On the Origin of Species in the other. He'd read a passage from King James, and then a passage from Darwin, and then back to the Bible again. The zookeeper didn't know that orangutans could read English, and he wondered if they could speak English as well. Drawing near to the ape, the zookeeper said, "Why are you reading both of those books at once?" "Well," said the orangutan, "I just wanted to know if I was my brother's keeper or my keeper's brother." You see, the orangutan knew the secret. We need a story, and we need the facts. We need both religion and science. With only one, either one, we wouldn't be human.
Our benediction today comes from the Hasidic tradition. A woman burst into the study of Rabbi Yerchemel ben Israel. "Rabbi," she said, "what is the way to God?" The rabbi looked up from his studies and answered, "There is no way to God, for God is always here and now. The woman replied, "Then, Rabbi, tell me the essence of God." "There is no essence of God," the rabbi responded, "for God is everything and nothing." The woman was distraught. "Then, Rabbi, tell me the secret of how I might know God." The rabbi thought for a moment and then said gently, "My friend, there is no way. There is no essence. There is no secret. The truth you seek is not hidden from you. You are hiding from it." Our time together is nearly finished, but our work is not done. May our spirits be renewed and our resolve strengthened as we meet the challenges of the week to come. Please help me close this service now.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world.
My name is David Kashdan, and I'm happy that you could join us for this service. Please come back whenever you like. We will post another virtual church service next Sunday. Please contact the minister or caring team if you or someone you know needs help during this time. Our services are recorded in advance, so current events may move faster than our ability to address them in a timely fashion. However, you can find up-to-date information on local events, social justice issues, inspiration, and content for all ages on our Facebook page. To close our service, another song by Brooke Campbell. You can hear more of her music at brookecampbellmusic.com. Help me to be quiet, to hush, to recall that humility is safety, and that is all. And as you make your way through the week, remember that you are good. You are loved. We all need a little work, and we're all in this together. Nothing left to say but, yay, church.
Locked myself into the house and melted down the key. Turned it to a sugar spoon to duck to my coffee. Never felt more happy, more in control. I go bouncing off the walls and fall into a dark hole. And it's warm in there, how I like it when that sweet despair is what I know. And I'm tearing my hair out from the sockets and praying to God for it to grow.